It was just another Tuesday morning. A crowded train station, the hum of commuters, the rhythm of routine. But in a split second, everything changed. A child stumbled, teetering on the edge of the platform as the train roared closer. What would you do? Freeze? Scream? Or act without thinking? One man did. He leapt, his body moving faster than his mind could process, grabbing the child and rolling away mere inches from disaster. The crowd erupted, not in applause, but in stunned silence. Who was this man? No cape, no title, just an ordinary commuter. Yet, in that moment, he became extraordinary. Courage isn't something you're born with, it's something you choose. And in the blink of an eye, lives can be rewritten. Think about it, how many times have you walked past someone and wondered what they're capable of? The barista who hands you your coffee, the neighbor you nod to in the hallway, the stranger on the subway. They're all just people until they're not. Until the moment demands more. Until the world watches them step into the fire and emerge transformed. These aren't just stories, they're reminders that heroism isn't reserved for the few. It's woven into the fabric of humanity. What drives someone to risk everything? Is it instinct, duty, or something deeper? The answer lies in the moments that define us, moments when fear meets action, when hesitation gives way to resolve. These are the stories we tell, not because they're rare, but because they're universal. Because they remind us that courage isn't about being fearless, it's about being brave enough to move forward despite the fear. This isn't just a tale of one man on a train platform. It's a testament to the power of choice. The choice to act, to intervene, to care. Every day, ordinary people face extraordinary moments. And every day, they rise to meet them. This is their story. This is the code of courage. What makes an ordinary person extraordinary? Is it fate, circumstance, or something buried deep within the human spirit? Courage doesn't always roar like thunder, sometimes, it's a quiet whisper, a split-second decision that changes everything. It's the single mother working 3 jobs to give her child a better future. It's the teenager standing up to a bully, knowing the risks. It's the firefighter rushing into a burning building, driven by a purpose greater than fear. These moments aren't just acts of bravery, they're the rewriting of destinies, the breaking of chains that once seemed unbreakable. Courage isn't reserved for the heroes of legend, it's woven into the fabric of everyday life, waiting for its moment to shine. But what drives someone to step into the unknown, to face danger, to defy the odds? It's not just instinct, it's a choice, a commitment to something greater than oneself. And in that choice, ordinary people become extraordinary. Think about it, how many times has courage quietly reshaped the world around us? How many lives have been saved, how many futures changed, because someone dared to act? The truth is, courage isn't about superhuman strength or invincibility. It's about vulnerability, about facing fear head-on and saying, "This matters more." It's about the small, seemingly insignificant moments that add up to something monumental. Courage is the thread that binds us all, the spark that ignites change. And it's not just reserved for the extraordinary, it's within every single one of us, waiting for the moment when we're called to rise. History is not just the story of kings, conquerors, or the powerful, it is also the tale of ordinary people who dared to act. Who were these everyday heroes? They were the farmers, the workers, the mothers, the teachers, those who, in moments of crisis, stepped forward to rewrite the script of their lives and, in doing so, altered the fate of nations. Their courage was not born from privilege but from necessity, from a deep-seated belief that they could, and must, make a difference. Consider Harriet Tubman, a woman born into slavery, who not only escaped its chains but returned, time and time again, to lead others to freedom through the perilous Underground Railroad. What would history look like without her relentless defiance? Her story is a testament to how one person's courage can ripple across generations. And what of Irina Sendler, a Polish social worker who smuggled over 2,500 Jewish children out of the Warsaw Ghetto during the Holocaust? She risked everything, her freedom, her life, to save others. Why? Because she believed every life was worth fighting for. Her actions remind us that heroism often begins with a single, quiet decision to stand against injustice. Then there's Mahatma Gandhi, a lawyer who transformed his personal struggle into a movement that dismantled an empire. His weapon? Nonviolent resistance. His legacy? A blueprint for change that continues to inspire movements worldwide. These figures were not born extraordinary, they became extraordinary through their choices. Their stories challenge us to ask, what would we do in the face of adversity? Would we rise to the occasion, or would we falter? History is filled with moments that demanded courage, and it was the everyday heroes who answered the call. They remind us that change doesn't always come from the top, it often starts with the individual, the person who decides that enough is enough. Their lives are proof that destiny is not written in stone, it is forged in the fires of action and conviction. So, as we look back at these historical figures, let us not just admire them, let us draw inspiration from their courage. Because history is still being written, and every one of us has the power to shape its course. What separates the ordinary from the extraordinary? What ignites that spark of courage in the face of danger, uncertainty, or overwhelming odds? It's not just chance, it's a profound interplay of psychological traits that shape the heroes among us. These are not superhumans, they're people like you and me, armed with something far greater than physical strength, a mindset forged in resilience and purpose. Courage doesn't just happen, it's cultivated in the quiet moments before the storm. It's the voice that whispers, keep going, when everything screams, stop. What fuels that voice? Let's dive into the inner workings of the courageous mind. The first trait? Emotional regulation. Heroes don't shut down their fear, they harness it. Fear is not the enemy, it's the fuel. It sharpens focus, heightens awareness, and propels action. Think of it as a primal alarm system, urging us to act rather than freeze. But how do they manage it? Through a deep-seated ability to stay calm under pressure, to think clearly when chaos reigns. It's not magic, it's mastery, a skill honed through experience and self-awareness. Next comes empathy, the invisible thread that binds courage to action. Heroes don't act for glory, they act because they feel the pain of others. Empathy transforms abstract danger into personal responsibility. It's the difference between walking away and stepping in. When you see someone in need, empathy compels you to act, even at great personal cost. It's the heartbeat of courage, the reason why ordinary people risk everything for strangers. But empathy alone isn't enough. Enter decisiveness, the ability to act swiftly and confidently. Courage isn't a drawn-out debate, it's a split-second decision. Heroes don't second-guess themselves when the moment demands action. They trust their instincts, their training, and their values. Indecision is the enemy of courage, decisiveness is its ally. Finally, there's resilience, the backbone of every hero. Courage doesn't mean the absence of fear or failure, it means rising after you fall. It's the grit to keep going when the odds are stacked against you, the belief that one small act can make a difference. Resilience is the quiet strength that turns ordinary people into extraordinary heroes. These traits, emotional regulation, empathy, decisiveness, and resilience, are the building blocks of courage. They're not innate, they're cultivated. They're forged in the fires of adversity and refined through the trials of life. So, what does it take to be courageous? It's not about being fearless, it's about being fearless enough to act. It's about rewriting your destiny, one brave decision at a time. What transforms fear into courage? What turns an ordinary moment into an extraordinary act of bravery? The answer lies not in the individual alone, but in the invisible threads that bind us together, community. It's the collective heartbeat that whispers, "You're not alone." It's the strength of a hand reaching out, the warmth of a voice saying, "I believe in you." Community isn't just a backdrop, it's the fuel that ignites the fire of courage. Think about it, how many heroes stand truly alone? Behind every act of bravery, there's a network of support, a chorus of voices urging them forward. Consider the story of Malala Yousafzai. Her courage to stand up for education wasn't just her own, it was nurtured by her family, her village, and a global community that rallied behind her. Or the firefighters who rush into burning buildings, their bravery is forged in the trust they have in their team. Every step they take is a step taken together. Courage isn't a solitary act, it's a shared journey. Without community, bravery risks becoming a fleeting spark, easily extinguished by the winds of doubt. But what does this support look like? It's more than just words or gestures. It's the unwavering belief that someone has your back, no matter what. It's the quiet strength of a mentor who sees potential where others see failure. It's the resilience of a group that refuses to let fear dictate their actions. Communities don't just encourage bravery, they create it. They provide the safety net that allows individuals to leap into the unknown, knowing they'll be caught if they fall. And yet, community isn't always visible. Sometimes, it's the unseen hands that lift you up, the stranger who offers a kind word, the neighbor who lends a hand, the friend who listens without judgment. These acts, small as they may seem, build the foundation of courage. They remind us that we're part of something bigger, something powerful. So, when we talk about bravery, let's not forget the people who make it possible. Let's celebrate the communities that rewrite destinies, one act of courage at a time. What if the very thing that breaks us is the catalyst for our greatest strength? Personal adversity isn't just a test of endurance, it's a forge. It shapes us, reshapes us, and often pushes us to places we never imagined we could go. Think about it, when the walls close in, when the weight of the world presses down, what do? We don't just survive. We rise. We fight. We become something more. Adversity doesn't just reveal courage, it demands it. Consider the single mother working 3 jobs to keep the lights on. She's exhausted, stretched thin, yet she finds the energy to read bedtime stories to her child. Or the athlete who loses a limb but trains harder than ever to compete again. These aren't just acts of resilience, they're acts of defiance. They're declarations that life, no matter how brutal, will not dictate their story. They rewrite it, one courageous step at a time. But why? Why does adversity ignite such extraordinary courage? Perhaps it's because when we're stripped of everything, comfort, certainty, even hope, we're forced to confront our deepest truths. We discover what we're made of. And in that moment of reckoning, courage isn't a choice, it's a necessity. It's the fire that keeps us moving forward when every instinct screams to give up. Look at history. Look at the countless heroes who emerged from the darkest chapters of their lives. Malala Yousafzai, shot for defending a girl's right to education, became a global advocate for millions. Nelson Mandela, imprisoned for 27 years, emerged not with bitterness but with a vision of reconciliation. Their adversity didn't crush them, it transformed them. It gave them a purpose so profound that fear became irrelevant. And what about you? What about the battles you faced, the losses, the setbacks, the moments when you thought you couldn't go on? They weren't the end of your story. They were the beginning. Because adversity doesn't just test us, it teaches us. It shows us that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision to act despite it. So, when life throws its hardest punches, remember this: adversity isn't your enemy. It's your ally. It's the crucible that tempers your spirit, sharpens your resolve, and prepares you to face whatever comes next. The question isn't whether you'll face adversity, it's how you'll respond. Will you let it define you? Or will you let it refine you? The choice is yours. And in that choice lies the code of courage. Imagine standing on the edge of a cliff, the wind whipping against your face, the ground far below a dizzying blur. Fear grips you, paralyzes you, whispers that you're not strong enough, not brave enough. Now imagine leaping anyway. That's exactly what Alex Martinez did, not just metaphorically, but literally. A former software engineer turned base jumper, Alex's story isn't just about defying gravity, it's about defying the limits of fear itself. How does someone go from coding in a cubicle to launching themselves off the tallest cliffs in the world? The answer lies in a single moment that changed everything. It was a day like any other, until it wasn't. Alex's father, a firefighter, died in a blaze trying to save a family trapped in a burning building. The loss shattered Alex, but it also planted a seed. What does it mean to truly live? To not just exist, but to embrace life fully, even when it terrifies you? That question haunted Alex, and the answer came in the most unexpected form: base jumping. At first, the idea seemed absurd. Alex had never even climbed a ladder, let alone scaled a cliff. But fear, once an enemy, became a teacher. Every step toward the edge was a step toward understanding courage. The first jump was a disaster. Alex froze, trembling on the ledge for hours before finally retreating. But failure wasn't the end, it was the beginning. Each attempt became a battle, not against the cliff, but against the fear that had ruled Alex's life for so long. Slowly, painfully, Alex learned to trust not just the gear, but the self. Today, Alex isn't just a base jumper, there are